Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about and what it's been doing lately. It seems that as more time goes on, they just can't seem to catch a break. From putting out 150 movies to the back of the range and shooting them, to trying to get rid of all sorts of physical media. Today we're going to dive deep into the decisions that made Sony the horrible PR nightmare that it is today. Let's go. So for deleting the movies that we're talking about today, I actually went through the list of them and I found some pretty notable ones that I think we should bring forward. Now I know what you're thinking, 150 movies. Well, that's not a whole lot, and I'm sure there's probably some B and C movies on there, and I looked through the list and the majority of you guys are right, but there is some golden nuggets in there that got deleted. End of Watch, which was a really good movie. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Rambo, Total Recall, Swedish midsummer sex comedy, or Simsk for short. It's a real movie. Go look that up. I can't believe it's a thing. And I kind of want to future editor Colton here, and I just wanted to give out a quick little point about the video. So it turns out, in not so surprising turn of events, that the new CEO of Sony has actually been found out for selling his share of the stock that he got when he was hired on. So that kind of illustrates to me, to everyone that's watching this, that they assume that their stock isn't going to be as valuable as it currently is right now. That's why they're selling. Currently it's listed for $225,000 worth. Sure, Sony will just buy that right back up, but in the meantime, just want to let you know it's not as good as it recently was, and it seems like every day the news is getting a little bit worse. All right, let's go back to the video. All these events, of course, paled in comparison to what we're making the video about in the first place, and that is the deletion of physical media from Sony. They've been trying to get rid of it, remove it, or phase it out. I believe when this was posted, Sony did post that they were showing data that a lot of users were downloading stuff instead of installing discs. Turns out that was by a firm that was caught for lying, as well as their data leaks that they have been vulnerable of themselves, reporting that more people have been buying physical than Sony has been letting on. I am just a humble captain, but I do seem to think that there's a monetary reason as to why Sony is doing this. Obviously, at the end of the day, if you want to track any of these companies' actions, they all lead back to money. That's obvious. That's pretty easy to point out. However, you also have to factor in you don't have to pay any money to the shipping to get the discs to Best Buy or GameStop. You don't have to pay GameStop for holding the merchandise. You don't have to pay every time you have a sale. On average, when Sony sells a $70 game, they only make about $40 to $50 out of a GameStop or a Best Buy, depending on how the margins split. When you buy it from the Sony digital media store, however, Sony keeps 100% of that money, and pending they don't have to give it to a third party or it's their first party title, they keep 100% of that sale. So it's pretty easy to surmise why they would want to do that. Immediately after the decision was made and the reasoning behind it, the servers for Sony PSN went down. And it wasn't just the servers for just Call of Duty or FPS games the like. It was for your single player games too. Further reinforcing the fact that as you go digital, everything will be tied to online internet connection. If any of these points of contact go down in your system, you can't play your games and you're just stuck with a paperweight. Following all these terrible moves, there will actually be a week-ish of protests going down at August 23rd at 7 p.m. to August 30th at 7 p.m. to make a point to Sony that not only can you not take away our physical media, but we will take away your right to print money. So hope everyone participates. Let's make Sony hurt. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye now.